And so to our special guest, who needs no introduction really, but I'll give him one anyway. His career, as you all know, brought him from Cove Ramblers to Nottingham Forest to Manchester United and Glasgow Celtic. He won 7 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, Champions League, Scottish Premier League, League Cup, captain of his club and country. And as a manager, he's been in charge of Sunderland and Ipswich, and now, of course, assistant to Martin O'Neill with the Republic of Ireland. Would you welcome, please, Roy Keane? Do you mind standing up there? You want to sit down?
No, fine.
Yeah, good stuff. Speaking of Manchester United, were you watching the Manchester derby last night?
Yeah, no, I was thinking last night. Yeah, it's tough going for United at the moment.
Is there any way out?
Of course there is. You have to still support them. Obviously, they get a lot of criticism at the moment. I think there's certainly a lack of effort. I've seen the last few games now, and they've certainly tried it. No doubt lost a little bit of confidence. They're human beings. They're probably they're up against. They've been up some very good teams over the last few weeks. I know they've lost to lesser teams over the last few months, but no, it's tough going. But hopefully they can turn around. It's certainly not going to get any easier over the next few months. I think they're going to maybe a bit more pain to come. Bayern Munich next Tuesday. But the players have got to try and sort it out. And, I think I've been saying for years what great support they've got. Man United and great support, and we need to see that over the next few months, because we've seen it before. We've seen it all levels. It's very, very easy to support a winning team. Very easy. But they need to support a team that is struggling. And but hopefully they get to the summer, get 1 or 2 players in, and be ready for next year. But it's not been hard for them. I think in defensive David Moyes, I think he probably can't believe how tough it's been. And then you need a bit of luck. Obviously Van Persie been injured at the moment. You know, I've played in teams, some good teams that are struggling, and in sport you need a few breaks. And I don't think they're getting that either at the moment. And hopefully they might get that over the next few months.
Well, in your role as ITV pundit for the Olympiacos game, I would say you were probably angry on behalf of the club with the first leg performance.
I don't know. I think I've always been. Anytime I look at comments I've made or supposed to have made over the years, even with the TV stuff, I've always. I think I've been fairly fair with them, and they were disappointed. But I also felt that they'd get through the second game, which they did. They showed a lot of guts to win 3-0 in the return leg. I played the game myself. I know all the best players are always the ones watching. You know, it's very easy when you're sitting in the stand or sitting in the studio or sitting in the fancy seats with your own sandwiches. It's very easy. And the players are here tonight. Sometimes when you're out there, it's hard going. It's hard going for United at the moment, and because you might have won a few trophies or you might have cost a lot of money, you know, confidence is a big part of it. And I think some of the players are lacking a bit of confidence. But we certainly won't be able to fix or analyse United problems tonight with a quick conversation. I think there's.
We could try.
People would get bored with you here all night. I don't know where you start. I think they need a number of players defensively. There's players leaving. I don't think that helps. I know when I played at United, very rarely did a player leave the club. You know, we're seeing that with maybe Vidic now. Maybe he's talking about Everett. Obviously, to be fair, Rio and Giggs are coming towards the end. So there's a lot of indecision. I think that can affect the team. I think they're lacking a few maybe leaders at the moment. But I don't think they've got that type of player in the group. Anyway, there's no point in expecting certain players to lead when they're not that type of character. So I think there's a combination of all these things. A new manager, new staff. They obviously went for 1 or 2 players in the summer. They didn't get it. I think that created a lot of negativity around the club. And they had a poor start, and again in sport they've had no momentum. You've got to have momentum. You mentioned my experience as a manager. I had it as Sunderland. Momentum, you go into every game thinking you're going to win. Confidence, I couldn't get momentum in Ipswich. So many games we drew, you're thinking you just need them few breaks. And I'm still obviously really fond of United. I know I left on bad terms, particularly with the manager David Gill, but no, you know, I still want him to do well. But as I said, we hope to see the best of the United fans. They are getting frustrated. As I said, I was at the game last night. I'll go and watch the game. I don't necessarily always just go as a pundit. I go and watch them as a fan sometimes. And You know, I don't
Do
like
you wear a hat or something? Because Alex Ferguson is always on the telly when he's watching the games. It seems to put a bit more pressure on him.
He sits in the nice seats, obviously I'm in the cheap seats. No, I'd wear a cap. I think for a couple of fans would know me, but they'd have that bit of respect, or they'd leave you alone. So no, I enjoy that, going to watch a match as a fan sometimes. It's not necessarily about going to analyse a game. And it's tough going through.
Who helps? Who coaches the coach? Who manages the manager? Who can Moyes look to now for help?
But that's where good question. Well, he's got vast experience. He's got staff around him. He's got a couple of senior players, obviously Giggsy, Rio. I think they've got to step up to the plate. I know one or two of the new players are getting a little bit of criticism, but I really think it's up to the players who've been there a few years. You know what Man United's about. It's been mentioned in one or two of the speeches tonight about passion in sports. You've got to have that passion. You know, I think there's no problem losing football matches, but you can lose in a good way. And I think the way United lost the last few games, I think that's probably been more upsetting than anything else. It comes within the group. Sometimes you get a lucky break. Like people, when you've played for a club like United, people always talk to me about all the great days in the past. But we had some tough days. You know, we won a lot of close games. We had a little bit of luck. Decisions go away. We grinded out results. We survived certain games. You know, going back when we won the league when Newcastle were 12 points clear. People remember the game up with Newcastle. We could have been 5-0 down on half time easily. But we ended up Eric nicking a goal and we ended up winning the league. So you need defining moments. And this team needs to find that. But they probably won't find it this year because I don't think they have it in the group. But they have to get certain players in, or certain characters, to make sure that they battle for every minute of every game. Haven't
you found, though, in management that club owners have shorter fuses, if you like, and have very little patience? How long will
of course, I think the game is changing. We see it at all levels. Same in the League of Ireland, people don't have the patience. They get bogged down by a lot of the supporters sometimes. No, I think United will be alright. I think David Moyes got plenty of time and the man deserves it. But sometimes the manager has to go, but I think David Moyes get into the summer, get some players in, give them a chance. As I said, I don't think people can comprehend the size of Manchester United. You mentioned who does he turn to earlier. You know, he's got staff, Steve Brown, Phil Neville. You know, they've got to step up to the plate as well, you know. But I think he'll be given time. I don't think United are going to panic. I know he's on a 6-year deal, but a 6-year contract can mean very little. I also know that. But hopefully he'll get a bit of time, because anyone who's got any idea about football, probably that this was the biggest job to follow Alex Ferguson. The clever people are saying you want to follow the manager after Alex Ferguson. But you know, that's why David Moyes, you know, give the man time, give him a chance. He's been in the door 2 minutes.
Looking at the Bayern Munich game, I mean, they've already wrapped up the league. They're showing even better form than last year. They won it last year. Yeah. Would you, as a Man United man through, be worried about a possible hiding?
I don't think you should be worried when you play for Man United. Who you're playing, I think it's a tough draw. Bayern Munich are one of the best teams I've ever seen, whether you're playing or as a fan now. Great decision, I think, with the new manager coming in. Again, Bayern Munich have done what maybe Man United have been doing for years, or you go back to Liverpool in the 80s. They've strengthened from, you know, when they're in a strong position. The players they've bought, they've got Lewandowski for next year. You're sending messages all the time. Man United probably haven't done that over the last probably 18 months, and it's caught up with them. But if United perform like they did last night and against Liverpool, forget about beating the West Hams and the Atlas and Crystal Palace. That's not what playing for Man United is about. It's how you do against the big teams. That's what gauges you as a player. But if they play like they did in the last few weeks, the big games against Bayern, then they're in massive, massive trouble. And I think Bayern are a type of thing that they will be ruthless, no doubt about it. I don't think they'll settle for one in victory if they're on top. I think they'll go for it. I've seen them live a few times this year, even when they've not really been at it. And they've got strength and depth, top manager, keep the ball well, good at set pieces. They've got pace in the team, they've got experience. And United need to pull something out of the bag. It's the reason I think we all love sport, and you still just never know. It's intriguing. But I thought there'd be a reaction. I went to the Liverpool game, I thought United would be alright today, and they never turned up. I thought last night they'd be alright, they never turned up. My God, they better turn up Tuesday night.
You were at the game, so you didn't watch it on TV, but Paul Scholes, he's a bit of a fun. He turned out to be some TV pun. He's not as good as you.
No, I obviously was at the game, but I got in, I heard him towards the end. Yeah, he spoke sense, he knows the game. And but I wouldn't take too much notice that I'm pundits, you know. I don't do what they're talking. No, Scholes is a good guy, and it's strange when you're out of. I don't class myself as a pundit. I thought I'd just do it for a few games, and that was 23 years ago. But no, my priority obviously, I know where my priorities lie, and that's obviously working with the senior team.
But did Scholes used to talk like that, kind of outside of any media?
Of course, when he was there at United, he'd have his say. And you saw him last night. Some people, you have different ways of getting a point across. Scholes, he would be fairly quiet.
But it was refreshing to watch and to hear, like some of your pronouncements, that he just spoke from the heart and said what he felt.
Well, football it's a pretty simple game. I think Scholes played the game that way, and I think he spoke that way last night. And it was nice to see him. Because even for people like Scholes, when you come out of football, it's a massive shock to the system when you stop playing. So I think it's important for Scholes, whatever. I know he was doing a bit of coaching last year. I think the United development group, that you keep involved. You do something, you keep the brain occupied. The pitfalls for ex-footballers, I'm not going to dampen the night for everybody, but the pitfalls for ex-footballers is frightening in terms of addictions, gambling, bankruptcy, divorces. It's pretty scary. So I think it's important that ex-players, if they get an opportunity, whatever it might be, coaching, TV stuff, appearances, that they keep themselves busy. And so it was nice to see Scholes on last night. As you said, he spoke. He kept it simple the way he played. I love playing with Scholes. He was a really top player. And you know, it was nice to see him last night.
Who's the best player in the world at the moment?
But obviously, we saw it again Sunday night, Barcelona. I'd still say obviously Ronaldo or Messi, one of those two, outstanding. But some of the lads from Bayern are in really top form at the moment. But it's hard to look beyond Ronaldo and Messi, I suppose.
When you looked at El Clasico, though, and obviously Ronaldo, Bale, Fabregas, Piqué, there was quite a number of players who had played in the English Premier League at some stage, but they don't play there anymore. Is there a shift in power, a shift in money away from the England game? Was the English game better a few years ago?
I'm not sure. To be fair, these players all went back. You mentioned in terms of Fabregas, obviously he wanted to go back to Barcelona. Piqué, I played with Piqué, he was always keen to go back. So it depends. Every case is different. You know, you're on about Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo's dream was always to play for Real Madrid. His dad wanted. So there'll be different circumstances. But at the moment, the strongest teams I think at the moment would probably be obviously Bayern are fantastic. The Spanish league is pretty decent, and I think the English clubs maybe just slip behind. In fairness to Arsenal and even City, you know, when I talk about luck in football, you need sometimes it's the luck of the draw. And some of the English teams have had tough draws. United got the easiest one, the last one, the Biancas, they got through it. But no, we mentioned earlier, it's a tough draw. You have to play these top teams. But yeah, I think the Real Madrid and Barcelona and the Bayern Munich, and to be fair, PSG are very, very good. I led them in Madrid, they were outstanding. And that's what happens in sport, you know, some countries have a good spell, and I just think the English teams have slightly fallen behind them. Having said that, I certainly wouldn't be writing off Chelsea.
I'm just going to say for Chelsea.
Chelsea have a habit, they know to win the big matches, they've got big characters, players have been criticised over the years, people like John Terry, but I've watched Chelsea live a number of times over the last few years, and they know how to win the big matches, and we're talking about United earlier, they've just lost that habit, and it's a bad habit to get into.
How do you rate Mourinho?
Well, CV tells you what, he's a top coach. I'm not sure, I don't know, there's some managers that are looking and think I would love to play under him, but he probably is not one of them at the top of my list.
Why?
I'm not sure. He's just not the top of my list. I look at other managers, but I could be wrong because a lot of the players who played him obviously have to speak very highly of him, a lot of respect for him, and his record is absolutely fantastic, and that's why we watch him. Particularly the Champions League, as I said, his record is fantastic. And again, we go back to luck. Mourinho had plenty of luck, but he's made the most of it. He's built on that, and that's why you look at the current Chelsea team, counter-attacking team, pace, some good characters down the spine of the team. he knows how to win the big games. And when I say I don't like to play under him, I'm not being disrespectful, but he's, he obviously plays the game a lot with the media, as most of the managers do. But maybe I would have enjoyed playing. It should be mine.
You're entitled to do that as well. When you look back at your career, first of all, bring it right back to Rockmount and then Cork Ramblers. We're here for Cork City tonight. How close did you come to signing for Cork?
Well, I did sign for him. But they fiddled the paperwork. No, they were a bit slow in sending. No, when I was leaving there.
Same thing happened with Blackburn Rovers.
No, I signed from. It was very. I think I signed from upstairs in the Chateau. I think it was. I don't remember the time. I signed for Cork City. Obviously, Cork City and Cove at the time were dangling a car for me. I was leaving Rockmount to go on the force course, which 2 players from East League of Ireland club, if I remember rightly, would obviously go on the force course up in Dublin. I'm not sure. I signed for Cork City. I'm not sure they could guarantee it to me, to be honest with you. And Cove got in touch, said they could, and I literally signed for Cove 2 days later, maybe even a day later, and they sent out the forms and they got to Dublin quicker. But I got charged. The FAI charged me. That was probably the start of things to come. They charged me, which rightly so, because I signed for 2 clubs. You're not supposed to. And they finally, I remember they finally got me on the phone. Cove paid it, to be fair to them. And I think Cork City, believe it, I think they were looking for money in the trial room. I think they were after 16,000, which was a small bloody fortune back then. But obviously, the FAI charged me and I got the fine. And I went to Cove, but obviously going to Cove was always part of my chance to go up on the force course. But Cove was great for me playing League of Ireland. I know you spoke about it earlier, it's heavily criticised, but playing League of Ireland was a great education for me. Getting, very, very tough. Obviously with Cove we were in the first division, on the Premier League or whatever, and it was tough going, but met some good lads, tough league. But it was great for me. But eventually when I went to Forest, obviously at 19, that experience in the world was fantastic, absolutely brilliant.
So would you recommend young players who maybe are offered a chance to go across with no guarantees?
I don't know. It's a very difficult question, but I spoke to, I met the Irish in the 17s a few weeks ago, and you forget how young they are, 16 going over. I know what suited me, and I suppose I'm only speaking from my own experiences, going over to, I don't think it would have suited me going over to England at 16, but I also understand it's very hard for young players to turn it down and get a chance to go over. Going over to England at 19 suited my personality. I'd had obviously the year with Cove, I had the year with the force course, so I was physically fine. I was obviously after physically getting bigger, I was ready for full-time training. Forest was the right club for me, Brian Cook was the right manager, the way they played the game. But my heart does go sometimes to young players, particularly Irish players. Obviously, we go to England at 16, sometimes they might end up in London at a big club, they might get injured. Like I know for a fact, if I was 16 going to England, these young kids, don't must get homesick, must do. It's a shock to the system, it's hard not moving when you're 19, 20 or even 21. So it's a big ask.
Brian Clough used to let you come home though. I used to see you in Sidetracks nightclub most Saturday nights.
It wasn't my fault. That's true. Brian Clough again was very good. I was 19, 20, so and I was doing well for him. It's obvious when you're doing well for a club, the manager will look after you. I was 19, and I'd say certainly at least once a month he let me come back for certainly 3 or 4 nights. You never realised usually when I went back the following Saturday I didn't play particularly well because I would have been out 4 nights in a row. But they're all experiences, and I needed that. Even mentally, I'd go back, and nice to see the family recharge the batteries, come back. But having said that, Forest was a brilliant club for me. You need breaks. I go back to it in all my career. I know you have to make breaks. Rockmount was the right club for me. Cove was the right club for me at that time. I'm sure I could have done all right for Cork City as well. And a few of my buddies signed for Cork City, Len Downey, one of others. Forest was the right club for me. United was the right club for me. I had breaks, and then other times I made wrong decisions. I think, even as a manager, maybe Ipswich, just the chemistry didn't feel right. So you need a few breaks along the way, and that's why I hope David Moyes and the United lads get it.
You mentioned Nottingham Forest, and Stan Collymore wants you to go back with Martin O'Neill to Nottingham Forest. Do you think that's ever going to happen?
Well, it won't be tonight, I don't think. Well, there'll always be speculation. I think I got into the job a few months ago, and I've had opportunities to go abroad, but my focus, me and Martin have been in the door 2 minutes with, the senior team. We're enjoying it. Big challenge ahead. There's so much we have to do. Even the Serbian match is a learning curve for us in terms of preparation and boundary with people, and even with the media and the FAI. So a couple of games towards the end of the season, the draw's it's a difficult draw, no doubt. So sometimes this is speculation. I'd like to think it's a compliment. As far as the top club, but my intentions are to continue work with Martin and the senior team and try and qualify. So my mindset's always been pretty good like that. I don't really tend to get distracted by media stuff.
But you're a young man, you don't surely want to be assistant manager for the rest of your career.
I didn't say that, did I? No, I mean, the contract is obviously a couple of years, and I'm delighted to work with Martin and Seamus and the other staff, but I never said for 1 minute I wasn't looking to go and do my own thing.
Would you like to get back to Old Trafford someday in the hot seat?
That's a silly question, really. You have to earn your right. As I said, I made massive mistakes, particularly at Ipswich, but I think I've done okay at Sunderland. But I'm still learning, and I think I'm learning under the top manager, Martin. I'm enjoying it, but I think it's dangerous to look too far ahead. I'm just focusing on, looking at some players this weekend for Ireland, and that's it.
Who are you going to have a look at?
I'm heading down to Stoke in Hull. Obviously a few Irish lads involved in that. And Stoke's near my house. That's a good. No, I know, we venture on. Again, a day doesn't go by when people aren't getting in touch with us. So, somebody can qualify for Ireland and all this. So, Martin and myself and Seamus, we're trying to see all the players, and sometimes it helps if Stoke, you're looking at potentially, 5, 6, 7 players being involved. So I think that helps.
Were you expecting to find more players by now, or is it too early to say?
No. We're not putting ourselves under pressure to try and discover players or find out, something that the previous management did. No, it'll be a slow process on that side of it. But what we have to look at, a lot of the players that that are doing well for us, like I said, a lot of our lads are playing well, week in, week out in the Premiership. But Martin and myself, we have to try and get a bigger squad. Every player that might be available, we look at it, of course. We're not shutting any doors on any players. But it might just take a bit of time. But we've got maybe potentially 4 games at the end of the season. We might get an opportunity to look at some other players. But I know what Martin's like myself. Obviously, we still want to win the football matches. It's well and good giving players, but I don't think we want to be throwing caps around. We want lads to earn the right to play for particularly the senior team. So it's a process we're enjoying. And Martin's a good guy, and I feel very lucky to be working with him.
You're going to Stoke, and so you're possibly going to see an Irish player who isn't involved in the scene at the moment, and he's from Cork, and he has started in Irish jersey, scored the first ever soccer goal in Cork Park, and showed huge potential, but hasn't played for Ireland for a while. Do you think he'll talk to Stephen Ireland, or do you think there's a chance of getting him back in the fold?
Well, I spoke with his grandmother just once. She was on the flight coming home. She asked me when we get back in I couldn't lie to her. I said, well, he'll have a chance if he's playing well. No doubt Martin, I think Martin had a conversation with him, and all that needs to fall into place. But we all know what talented Stephen is. Again, Martin will look at that, and just answer your previous question, we wouldn't be shutting the doors on any players. But what is important for any player, and Stephen's the same, it does help if they're playing week in, week out. He's obviously had a difficult spell. We mentioned young Milo earlier. Milo had injuries for a couple of years. If you want to improve, I was a great one for training, but you got to play week in, week out. You got to play for your club. Stephen's only just got to run the games at Stoke now. Obviously, I know he can play the weekend. Part of his deal with Villa that he couldn't play against them. So I certainly wouldn't be ruling anybody out.
And when you look at the way Ireland play at the moment, is there a potential to look at different shapes and different formations and different styles? Do we have to look at being a bit more flexible now, particularly in the group we're in?
Of course.
Do you think we'll have the...
What system do you like?
Pardon?
What system do you like?
Well, it's not my job to like the system.
You fool me.
I want to get Joe Gamble and Georgia Fallon as well.
Managers, sometimes managers or the Irish team, they can get labelled as a certain way of playing. I think if we can win matches, I think that's the most important thing. I think we have got good players. I think Ireland maybe been criticised, even going back to when I played, probably too direct, didn't keep the ball well enough, the game is changing. Even when I played under Jack, but he didn't make it, we were pretty direct, but the game is changing. It depends on the players you have available. We've got a lot of good ball players. We went to Stephen Ireland, Reedy, was Houlihan, all very talented boys, Stokesy. So, it will depend on what games come on, what players are available, who's in good form, who's in their club teams. And again, Martin, don't underestimate Martin's experience. He's got great experience, and I certainly know from watching his teams over the years, his teams have played different styles of play. They can be very aggressive, they can be good counter-attacking teams, which is certainly good at Aston Villa, pretty physical and strong up at Celtic, very good team you have built at Leicester. So, as I said, it's not a quick fix. Don't think all of a sudden we're going to be playing a system that you've not heard of. But again, we look at the players and we look what's available. And we have a look.
The way the fixtures have fallen, and particularly, I suppose, Germany away, it is going to be a tough calendar year for us in competitive games.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to get the best points so you can, but this could be a difficult end of the season, or end of the year, I should say.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but that's the name of the game. It's tough on any level. The draw could have been kinder to us, but hey, what you do, try it all. We just have to get on with it. The way the draw, the way the games have panned out, I think three of the first games are away, it's going to be difficult. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenge. I think the players are in good form. Again, we get to know more. We learned a lot about the Serbia game, certainly. As I said, more in terms of preparation and the players we selected. We selected 26 players. Obviously, 25 ended up involved. Damien pulled out. These end of season games, I think, will be important to us. Turkey and Italy, maybe might be another couple in the States. So that will be important to us before the first qualifier. But I think what we will have, and like all Irish teams I've seen, have been involved in even the difficulties they've had over the last few years, they always have a goal. They always have a goal. Despite the criticism, I think the group we've looked at, first impressions are, if we are going to get beaten, then teams will have to be very strong to beat us.